Hello everyone, my name is Akal and I am a somatic therapist as well as an astrological counselor. And I also help individuals and couples along their path when it comes to understanding sexual energy and understanding intimacy. So with that said, what this video is about is it's about the sexual superpower of Gemini. Now, this is the third video in the series of videos I'm going to be doing, and there'll be a total of 12 videos. Now, when I'm talking about sexual superpowers, something that we need to understand here is it really has to do with just like everything evolves through awareness, everything evolves through mindfulness and consciousness, so too does one's understanding of sexual energy and one's sexuality. So one of the reasons why I talk about sex so much is the fact that it's one of the loudest signals that the body gives off. So when you connect to these very, very loud signals, one of the things that it can do is it pulls you back into feeling and sensing. And as you pull back into feeling and sensing, essentially you're connecting to a more anchored, rooted vibration. And as you anchor into this more rooted vibration, essentially it can still the mind, assuming that you're breathing deeply and you don't have a lot of physical tensions and anxieties and things like that. So as you connect to this sexual energy, you can start to see how energy in general is moving within you, because the fact of the matter is sexual energy is not inherently separate or different from any of the other energy in the body. It is simply spirit that is flowing through us, and as it flows through different centers, different chakras, it creates an expression. And the expression as it moves through the sacral center is horny. Horny is a conduit into the body. That's the one thing I'll say about this. So getting into Gemini now. So Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So Mercury is really about the polarities, right? So it's about the polarities. And what do I mean by polarities? It means like all existence is polar, or an expression of duality in a lot of ways. You have light and you have dark, and you have this and you have that, and you have I, me, subjective, and everyone else, as if it's separate. Now, one of the things that Gemini is here to do in his lifetime is to understand the relationship between spirit and form. Or you could say even like the relationship between spirit and matter. And the only way that you can really truly understand the relationship between spirit and matter is to connect to the soul, because the soul is the in-between spirit and matter. Now, what do I mean by soul? So let's say that you have this construct, and have spirit, which is just generalized, undifferentiated energy that is moving through you, expresses through your particular template. Now, the template is connected to your body and your subconscious. And because it's connected to the body and the subconscious, in order to connect to your soul, you have to connect to feeling and sensing. You have to be able to feel how the energy is. Where is the energy in your body? And so if you're horny, you know that the energy is around the sex center. And so again, this is like one of the things that that Gemini is here to realize, is that the vehicle, the body, the subconscious, whatever you want to call it, is the vehicle for spirit. And so their highest level achievement, which is, and again, when I'm talking about this movement towards the sexual superpower, their highest level of achievement is to recognize that they're here to uplift. They're here to uplift through their own process of learning and their own process of then helping others understand. So it's to learn and to communicate. It's very like third house, right? So something else that Gemini is here to do is that it's here to essentially, and this goes into what I just said, is to here to mutate and adjust, I guess, everything. Everything that it comes across is here to understand it, or start to understand it, mutate it, adjust it, so that it can then suit the soul, or connect in a parallel way with the soul. So Gemini, in an immature way, when it's functioning in this very heady kind of way, what ends up happening is that it's sort of like instinctual desire to have experiences, right? When I say instinctual, it doesn't mean there's a lot of consciousness attached to it. It's just like autopilot. So this instinctual desire to have experiences will drive Gemini towards all sorts of different sexual activity, potentially. So it can go towards this sexual thing and that sexual thing, or this partner and that partner. So again, it's unguided action. And there's not a lot of discernment here. Because every time Gemini does one of these things, it learns a little something. Again, because that's the point, right? The point is the education for Gemini. So as it begins to learn, some of the stumbling blocks along the way might be, for instance, immature Gemini might be insensitive to one's lovers. You haven't had enough experiences yet, right? So you don't know how to be sensitive. And you're certainly at that point not connected to your body in a whole kind of way. So if you're not connected to your body in a whole kind of way, you could be a little short on empathy, a little short on sensitivity. And so that is a possible issue with Gemini. The other thing is, again, just sort of indiscriminate sexual activity all over the place. And of course, the pitfalls and the issues that come along with indiscriminate sexual activity. So as Gemini starts to mature, an interesting thing happens. So Mercury, in a lot of the things that I read, is actually connected to the root chakra. And the root chakra is very much connected to the adrenal glands. Now, the adrenal glands are sort of like this pressure. That's the best way to describe it. It is a pressure. And the adrenal glands, there are two of them. So again, everything about Gemini seems to be about this polarization. It's about this movement between this and that. So Gemini has to move from subjective, I am separate from that, to objective, meaning it can see both sides of everything, and it's simply neutral in a lot of ways. So that neutrality, once Gemini reaches that place of neutrality, which one can do, again, through meditation and yoga and Tai Chi and Qigong and all sorts of things, really has to do with pausing, right? So you have to create a pause. So as Gemini starts to move towards this objectivity, they start to function not from the root as much. So otherwise, they're not functioning through automatic pressure so much anymore. They start to function through the pituitary, because the pituitary is ruled by Venus. Now, the soul's expression of Gemini is actually Venus. Now, Venus is the urge to merge. Venus is the sort of magnetic, sensual aspect in a lot of ways. I'm simplifying it a bit. It also represents your values and a lot of other things. But in this particular case, we're talking glandular. Glandular is very physical. It is the movement towards a bliss state. It is movement towards feeling. And again, that early on, that is not a strength for Gemini's feeling. Not saying they don't have feelings. There's something fundamentally different about emotions and sensing and feeling. So as they get out of their head and they move into sensing and feeling, what they end up doing is they start to unite these polarities. And so what this means, sexually speaking, as you start to unite the polarities and you start to see what is universal, because that is what Venus is here to do. It's here to show you what is universal. It's all about merging. Harmonizing is another great word, but it's harmonizing through conflict. So Gemini has to do all this trial and error messiness first, and then it starts to harmonize. And eventually, what the sexual superpower is here is sensitivity, deep sensitivity, rich sensitivity, empathy, deep empathy. And again, the capability of entering into tantric style unions, which really is just this melding of energies. And it doesn't even have to be sex. It simply could be proximity to another human being, where you both let down your guard and you both surrender, then the auras intertwine. And then it's it's like a tantric experience at that point. And it's simply about closeness, proximity, and intimacy. So Gemini can become very skilled at this. And so as they start to realize that their true expression is, like I said earlier, to be a vehicle for spirit, then they see their purpose. So the sexual purpose to a very mature, grown-up Gemini here could be to teach. Now, what are they teaching? Well, they can teach others how to become more sensitive, right? Because they came from a place of insensitivity. So they can then teach others how to become sensitive. They can also teach others how to go into these merging and uniting kind of experiences. And again, you get this feeling of being enveloped at that point. And the other thing is that their intuition becomes much sharper. So they start making the correct choices in terms of sexual partners. So no more sort of indiscriminate behaviors. See what else I should say about this. So again, the ultimate outcome here is an individual that functions through their heart. It functions with wisdom, through the heart, the navigation. And so it's through this wisdom and this heart-centered action that the Geminis ultimately can achieve, that they can then become not only masterful learners, but also masterful teachers. And again, that just leads to amazing, supercharged sexual experiences. So if you are a Gemini, that is your ultimate calling. So with all that said, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching.